So next we got The Big Hollow 1982. This game is not yet out. It will be on Steam. You can currently wishlist it. It just says sometime 2026. We're in 2026. I'm guessing not in the next few months. I think otherwise they would have a date out. I'm going to guess kind of mid-late fall, early winter. That would be my guess. This is the developer's first game. It's also a detective-y kind of game. Okay, we've got basic stuff, so we're just going to kick it off with the red screen of death. Ma, you sleeping? This one's a point and click rather than a controller. Ma? It's Ma's room. He's been gone a long time now. She's so quiet. Coming in, okay? Don't be mad. Apple pizza. I guess it's an apple pie. See, and then we got pizza. I don't reckon she left me no pie anyhow. Why they's empty? What's going on? Things are all still here. I don't see her. Why don't I see her? Ma? Ma? Hello? Ma? Looks like I'm alone. I don't know how I should feel about this. Whenever I was with her, I was sure that she didn't even like me. I guess maybe this is a good thing. No, time to get out of your head, Desmond. She should be here any moment now. You'll find out what this is about soon enough.
Oh? Really?
Lenore was a beat cop. Now this I would have liked to have seen. Probably where she adopted that no-nonsense stare-down technique of hers. Looks like she runs a tight ship, especially compared to the other SSAs I've reported to. Is this what I think it is? Are those crime scene photographs?
Interesting.
Seems like it's two different homicide victims. Something Lenore's investigating. Yeah, look at these photographs. Hold on, with their BSU connections, could this be one of those investigations? I assume she's gonna walk in. Meanwhile, I'm here waiting, might as well see what I can see. Pretty different scenes, at least at first glance.
It has to be.
So then, what is it that Lenore is looking over these two together? It must be. She was gagged, and with underwear too, perhaps her own. This takes time, control, very deliberate. Now, come to think of it, I do have my things here with me. I could just...
Well, I've come this far.
Well, might as well do it like I was trained, so then what else can we make out from these? The way the mud builds on the side and the width too, something big and heavy made these tracks. A truck or trailer, perhaps? Second shoe here is clearly hers. Those cigarette butts nearby too. Was her killer bold enough to hang around and admire what he'd done? That's interesting. A handbag means identification, something the killer would normally like to delay. Then one has to wonder, what was the relationship between the victim and killer here? Her posture here. It's awkward. Not sure she simply fell this way. For her legs to be open towards the road like that seems like she was being humiliated to me. Definitely some abrasion here. I would assume some sort of restraint used. But then why remove one kind of restraint just to leave another? Only one shoe on. Could that be that it fell off as she was dumped? What are we missing? Clear ligature mark. Strangulation is likely the cause of death.
That's that then.
I think that's the main points. From this photo, at least. Hard to tell from this, granted, but I'm fairly sure that's resting in neutral. Odd thing, isn't it, to be driving without shoes? This is interesting. Some kind of scratching on her soles? Looks to be abrasions matching both arms, so she was restrained at some point then. It's a strange shape, but I'm fairly sure this mark is from a ligature, thick with a circular shape of some sort on the end. Despite the beating, I think this was strangulation that killed her. No expert, but this combination of clothes looks off. That's not to mention the undone button in the middle. Something's not right with this. The swelling and bruising on her face is really quite severe. Early onset too, so those occurred close to the time of her death. It's not quite easy to make out, but there's some kind of abrasions on the side of her mouth. With the blood pool too makes me wonder, was something in place there earlier?
Okay. Intriguing.
Seems like everything. In light of all these details, I do wonder. There certainly are similarities, but are there enough? So then, care to tell me what you're thinking? No. Oh no.
Oh, well,
Hey, ma'am, I was just,
Really?
You are Ward, aren't you? Desmond Ward?
right.
Yes, that's me, ma'am.
So then, Desmond, tell me.
Then I don't care much for repeating myself, so if you could... No, of course not, so I... Sorry, what was the question? Photographs, Desmond. What do you make of them? Is she mad at me? I can't tell. What photos? So they have restraints on the wrist, restraints on, or had been restrained on the throat, stuff around the mouth, and stuff with the feet. I think you'd have to suggest there's at least cause for connecting them, right? Don't sound so certain. Are you asking me or telling me? Well, things that there are differences between them, it's certainly not clean cut.
Could it be?
Similarities are there. It's hard to say, really. Hard to say if this is a serial murderer. This is the BSU, Desmond. You can use the term to save space. These serial killer profiles have been all the talk of the Bureau the last few years. Exciting new analytical approach to solving repeat offender murders. It's exactly why I've been trying to get time with anyone from the Behavioral Science Unit. Why I was intrigued by this invitation, only... I guess it's just that. I'm not really trained in what this is about just yet. Programs here aren't big on profiling or serial homicide. Old dog and new tricks, I'm afraid. I hear you majored in sociology, which will help some. A minor in psych too, yes?
Oh, well,
Yes, ma'am. It was mostly introductory classes.
Really?
Introductory, right. But instructors tell me it was my lectures that had you interested in the BSU. What you said about offender behaviors and how we interpret them to better understand crimes. I think this is the future of homicide investigation, to be able to find murderers just by thinking how they think. Something like that is the key to my work as a future agent, ma'am.
There is more to it, though.
I suppose it's as good as a concept, as good as a starting point as any. Starting point. Just a little exercise of sorts. Case this unit just recently assisted on. Curious to hear what you can make of it. Come, let's see what mind reading you're capable of. A case they're already finished with. She wanted me to find the photographs. Is this some sort of, what, evaluation? Alright, okay, keep focused here, Desmond. You can't disappoint her now. So the first thing you should know is that you'll largely process this like any other case you're trained with.
It's there in the evidence.
Start from the beginning, follow the evidence, work the angles. That's the only way to understand the behaviors. Now that you're already familiar with the two victims, we can jump straight in.
Oh?
Well, I did have a little look. I think familiar might be a stretch, though.
Desmond.
Come now, this is all just logic. Take the victim on the left. How would you have set about identifying her? Surely with the handbag, right? Assuming there's a license or something similar. Good. See, it's not so hard. Like I said, as long as you follow the logic. This left here, she was identified as Bonnie Hayes. Miss Hayes' body was discovered not far from where she lived. A local found her on the shoulder of a back road. Our second victim on the right was found by deer hunters. The car she was in had been driven quite deep into a forest. She was identified through the car's registration as one Ida Rothermund, also found not far from where she lived.
Interesting.
One on back road, the other inside a car in a forest, both close to their homes. Both late 20s, and importantly no signs of a struggle around either body, which means these were not likely the primary crime scenes, the scenes of the murders, but rather the disposal sites. That's an important part of linking serial murder cases, isn't it? The way each body has been left behind.
Perhaps.
If similar enough. Since you have the urge to impress, then elaborate, if you could.
Oh, well,
On linking offender behaviors. I'm paraphrasing here, but the way an offender acts during their crime will reveal aspects of them as a person. The evidence they leave behind reveals the choices they made. These choices tell us a lot, what they desired or feared, hated. So if crimes show repeated patterns of behavior, repeated signs of that same personality,
Not bad.
then it could be a repeat offender. Yes, well then. What will you suggest here? Could we claim there is similar evidence in how the offender disposed of each victim? Okay. So in both cases a vehicle was used. One is still in the vehicle, and it's in neutral, which to me suggests they drove part of the way, put it in neutral, maybe pushed it down a hill or something. The other one was driven there. I mean, they both have shoes off, they both have similar abrasions on the wrist, neck, they both look like they were gagged. I'm going to say similar.
here's what I'm thinking.
On the surface they might seem to have their differences, but I'm not completely convinced. A back road, a forest, both are relatively secluded areas, both near the victims' homes. Quite valid reasoning, I'll give you that, but tell me.
There is more to
Do you not agree that there is considerably more effort made here to hide one body over the other?
Ah,
That's true.
yeah, right.
So to start, but I guess we need more information, more context. Well, proximity must be a fairly large factor. How close are they to each other?
Now you're getting somewhere.
You're certainly asking the right questions. Miss Hayes was found close to Briar Hollow, an old and mostly defunct logging town on the northern outskirts of Cumberland. Miss Rothermund and her car were close to Hickory Ridge, North Tranton, a fuel junction with a few residents, not much else.
In fact,
The thing is, both were found off the same back road connecting the town to the fuel junction barely 2 miles apart.
Oh?
But then they must be
Really?
connected. A small back road, 2 small populaces.
not quite, Desmond.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Desmond. This is about context, as you said. And we have good reason to believe the suspect pool could be significantly wider.
Let's see here.
Have a close look at this and keep in mind this is all about logical reasoning. What do you think is an indication of why this might not just be a local offender. That it might have been like a truck.
Right.
Referencing the tire tracks, aren't you? A deep and wide impression, that means a truck. Starting to look into truck drivers, then we could be looking at anyone and everyone who took deliveries through the area. When you consider the main highway passing through Hickory Ridge, that's not such a small pool of suspects after all. So then, where does that leave us? We've discussed 2 offender behaviors, body disposal, the area of offenses, but that's simply not enough.
The evidence tells the story.
We need to consider all of the evident behaviors together before we can call this a serial or not. So, you'll need this notebook. Go ahead, take a look so we can get started. I've taken the liberty of simplifying the remaining identifiable behaviors down to
Let's
these
see what
5.
you make of this.
From here, I'd like you to see your ability to compare each on your own.
Oh, well,
Hold on, overkill, staging, or posing? Not sure I know exactly what you mean.
Desmond.
Have a little courage, Desmond. When guidance on a term, let me know and I'll break it down
It's
for
there
you.
in the evidence.
Otherwise, review the evidence, think about what makes most sense for each, then make your decisions. Reasonably decent, she says. How did I ever doubt myself? Lenore's a tough customer, but this is really it, a chance with the BSU.
Okay, Desmond, you
Let's
can
not
do
rush it,
this.
Desmond. Take your time, you don't want to fall at the starting line. So, cause of death. So strangulation. So, strangulation for both of them. Restraints utilized. So we have hands. And we have some kind of thing over the mouth. So I'm going to say yes. Weapon utilized. So she has no wounds. Whereas she does. So I'm going to say that one is different. Can I change this? Okay. Signs of overkill. Force against the victim which wasn't necessary and actually causing the victim's death. So in that case, this face. So, based on this, she took this punch to the face after she was already had something covering her mouth. So, she has signs of overkill, she does not. So, signs of overkill, no. And she definitely didn't drive here, I think is the implication with her feet. And she seems like she was posed. So I think that was similar. Let's see here.
Not quite, Desmond.
Okay.
Well, I've come this far.
Okay, so there's 1 or 2 wrong. Cause of death, I'm confident. Restraints, I'm confident in. Weapon. Because this one has something. So even though they're both strangled, they have different shapes. Overkill. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. Cause of death. Both have ligature marks on the necks. Strangulation is the most likely cause of death for both women, which in fact turned out to be the case. restraints. Both have clearly matching marks on their wrists,
There is more to it, though.
and the way the bruising pulled around the mouth, both were gagged. We both know they were strangled, however. The impression on each victim's neck, the ligature marks differ, and the strangulations, that's the weapon we are considering.
If that's the case,
So, yeah. So, does it mean a different defender? No, not necessarily, but it is a change in the exact ligature mark.
in fact,
With Ida's bruising not having full time to recover, what could have occurred during the time of her death or just before? Was this violence used to control her? She was already restrained, so no, that's not likely. Since Bonnie had no such injuries, we simply can't discount this important difference. And lastly, staging or posing, another tricky one. Both bodies, in fact, have been repositioned. Bonnie was posed, positioned in a way to degrade and humiliate her. Ida, on the other hand, was not positioned in a way to present what the offender had done, far from it, actually. Ida was in fact staged, repositioned in an attempt to deceive investigators.
the evidence tells the story.
Remember, staging to deceive, posing for ritual or symbol, seemingly similar but in actuality quite different. So there we have it, for your first foray into linkages.
Nicely deduced.
It was good work, Desmond, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Thanks, but I can't pretend I would have noticed every single detail you mentioned. So the victims are restrained in similar ways, but we don't know if it was the same unique gag. Both are strangled, but with different ligature, plus the difference in posing and staging. They are on the same road, but all of that said, is that enough? A little more critical in your suspicions now, That's good, I like to see it. What we need is an aspect of the offender's behavior that is significant, something undeniably from the same person.
Let's see here.
Let's go back to what you just mentioned, the gag utilized against Bonnie. You described it as unique. Well, it's so deliberate. There are much easier ways to gag someone. He needs to go out of his way to do it.
Exactly.
Which means it likely fills an important need for the offender. He's driven to do it, so then. What if we can prove that the same unique behavior, the same type of gag, was utilized during Ida's homicide?
Oh?
Oh, did I miss something? I didn't think I saw anything related to a gag. It's not always about what is seen, Desmond, but also what is deduced.
So then, Desmond, tell me.
What would we need to examine in order to know if Ida had the same gag as Bonnie?
Could it be?
I suppose if Ida did have her underwear removed and used as a gag, then the logical thing to examine would be her clothes. The underwear would be missing, assuming the offender kept or disposed of them.
Not bad.
Either that, or they'd be back on her, which, as it turns out, was the case. The presence of blood and saliva on the underwear gave it away, and matched perfectly for the positioning as a gag.
Ah, okay.
I see, so he redressed her. I did think something was odd about her clothing. Presumably part of his staging process.
Huh.
Right, redressed her for the staging. Same background restraint, strangled, same unique gag.
If that's the case...
At this point, it's quite compelling. The behavioral links are difficult to deny. This is likely a repeat offender, and these two cases should be investigated with that close in mind. But then, despite the similarities, the victims are so different. You know, all this time it seemed like it was the differences that made this harder to investigate, but now I think it's exactly those differences that will help find the man who did it. Oh? How is that then? It's like you say, if we follow the logic of why he did what he did, it can only mean one thing. It can only mean he was known to one victim much more than the other.
Perhaps.
Interesting. You have my undivided attention, Desmond.
Well, I've come this far.
You're in it now. Help him write about this. The differences in crime suggest the killer was known to... I would say Ida, because he has the emotional connection to her.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Must be Ida that knew him. I think it comes down to the staging, the redressing truth, all trying to hide something. Bonnie, on the other hand, there wasn't anything. Even her identification was there, right?
Nicely deduced.
I hadn't thought about the identification. The central need for a murderer connected to a victim is to obfuscate that connection. Bonnie was presented by him like he wanted to show off what he'd done. He even left critical evidence of himself there. The 2 Windsor bolts he smoked standing over her.
Yeah, that
Right,
makes
he didn't
sense.
care if she was found or even identified because he knew he couldn't be traced from her. With Ida, though, everything we discussed, it was about distancing the chance of being found
There
out.
is more to it, though.
Yes, and there's much more to be said on how he in fact went on doing that. The staging that we've touched on. Here, let me see those notes of yours, Desmond. Perhaps you already notice what I'm referring to.
Oh, well...
Notes? Well, I mean, I just jotted a few things down. I don't know if they're,
Desmond.
This playing coy is growing tiresome.
Right.
Yes, right. It was a rough practice more than anything else. It's not bad. You did at least pick up on 2 crucial details. Let's start with those. Here, hand me that notebook again. Questions answered with fact from the crime scene. This is the foundation of any
Let's see what you
investigation.
make of this.
From here on, I'd like to see you apply your own observations, your evidence to solve the questions we find.
It's there in the evidence.
What suggests Ida wasn't driving the car? Her feet. Was it just that she was tied up? Well, certainly not definitive. The lack of shoes at the very least should be raising questions for an
Perhaps.
investigator. Perhaps she prefers driving barefoot, or perhaps she wasn't actually the one driving.
Are you sure about that? Back to it, Desmond.
Okay. I'll have to remove it. More on Evie. Was it pushed?
Perhaps.
Okay, yeah. If this were some self-induced accident, why would it shift to neutral?
If that's the case,
So despite the fact that both these aspects could potentially be explained, together they form one key suspicion. Did Ida really drive this car into the woods barefoot and have the capacity to put the car back in neutral? Right, but you seem to suggest there was something I missed in my notes too. Yes, take a look at how Ida's positioned here physically.
what do you think?
Doesn't something seem off about it to you, making it highly unlikely she was driving? Her seat's really far back.
Ah,
Right, I
okay.
see it now. It's where her seat is.
See.
It's so far back.
Not bad.
Indeed, better late than never, Desmond. Once you notice how far back the seat is set, it's clear Ida could not have comfortably driven this car.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whoever was driving this was tall then, taller than Ida at the least. So all this was an attempt to stage this as what? A crash? Further proof that this was about distancing himself, about knowing one victim more than the other. It makes 2 established ideas. We have a repeat offender and one that was known to
So
Ida.
then, Desmond, tell me.
Where are you going to start this investigation? Me? Well,
Desmond.
we spoke about this.
Right.
Bottom line here is learning more about Ida. Start by going back to her home, see what can be gathered
Why
there.
is that?
Why do you think that is what you would do? It was nearby. Could something have happened there? At least it's a starting point in learning about Ida. I'm not talking about the case, Desmond. I'm talking about you, this defensiveness. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I follow, man. You're shying away from taking the initiative, but not always. Why do you think that is? Does something in particular intimidate you, Mr. Ward? Yes, by you. If I'm being honest, ma'am, I'm probably intimidated at least a little by. What was it? At times hard to tell if you're, well... if I'm impressed, if you're disappointed. Believe me, I appreciate the opportunity and the challenge. I'm ready to step up to it, ma'am. Right, I see. Interesting. Step up, you say.
Back to it, Desmond.
Good, back to it then. Only now let's try with a little more independency. Did you want to visit her home? So let's start with that. This is Ida's home, at least the back half that makes up her bedroom.
Let's see what you make of this.
Alright, I think we're going to have to call it here because I do have to get going shortly, but it looks like this is going to be mainly comparing evidence and making deductions via photograph. Even better if this is exactly where the tutorial ends. Oh yeah, great. This is exactly where the demo ends. Perfect. So the full game, new photographs, witness interviews, coded lists. Okay, so it's all about this one case. Who killed Ida and Bonnie? I agree with you, Samuses. I agree that that was not the best place to end it. Because we just got back to the intro, I feel like they could have given us just a little bit, just wet our whistles, a little bit of, about what happened with Ida.